Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and I hope you're doing fine. So welcome to our, I think, 4th developer update for Beautiful Light. Now, before we start with the video, as always, I want to tell you that what I'm going to show you today is still work in progress. If you're interested in only specific topics, as you can see, we have a lot of topics today. Timestamps in the description below, and then you can just jump to the stuff that piques your interest. And with that, let's go. We're gonna start today's video with the focus on a member of the Black Squad, and it's gonna be Death. As you can see, she is more of a stealthy operator with half a ghillie suit, and her primary weapon is a DMR. She looks absolutely effing badass. I wonder if there's gonna be customization for her, because you can kind of see it here in this lockup preview. Looks awesome. I don't know if she's a little bit too stealth for dark environment, but the concept idea of the character is pretty effing nice. I have 2 more screenshots that I want to share with you guys so you can see how she looks in the environment of the game. Obviously T-posing because she is such a boss. Next up, let's talk about the weather in the game. Now, there are multiple daytime settings that you can encounter in the game. We will also talk a little bit about environmental sound. But, you know, let's just go through the screenshots, I would say. First time, we have regular daytime, and I love the colors and the saturation of it. This is something that sometimes rubs me the wrong way when the colors are way too vibrant. I like my games to be gritty. Also, you can see Death standing in the middle in the field there, so you get a little bit of a feeling how hard it will be to spot operators during the different daytime settings. Okay, we also have Clear Night. And you can see that, sure man, you see her now because she is not crouched in a bush, but this is gonna be difficult. So I think that flashlights and night vision equipment will be way more important than in other games, because night is actually night. So this is Clear Night. Let's jump to Dark Night. And what a surprise, it's actually dark, am I right? It's not pitch black, you can still see something, and I don't know if there will be any lanterns or stuff like that in the city. But playing right here without a flashlight or night vision equipment, that's gonna be wild. Especially when there's a Juggernaut hunting you. Okay, we also have fog in the game. Depending on the gameplay mechanics, I don't know how much I like vision impairing effects like fog, rain, nighttime, because it can render certain loadouts useless if you don't know in advance what kind of daytime setting you will encounter. If you have a sniper scope and it's only fog and that's your primary weapon, it might be really difficult to play the game then. But we will see how they will solve the game, or this challenge, I don't want to call it an issue, in the future. Okay, we also have morning time, which is just, yeah, not as bright as daytime. Looks pretty cool. We have overcast. Sure, again, I like my games gritty, and this is absolutely hitting my taste. Then we have also 2 types of rain. So we have this one right here, and I think this is light rain, and this seems to be heavy rain. Yeah, you can see in the first one, it's a little bit brighter. You can see not as many clouds in the sky. In the second one, it's just darker. Again, with rain, I find it very difficult. How loud shall the rain be? In Hunt Showdown, we have rain as well. Light rain, no problem, but thunderstorm, it muffles everything else, and audio in Hunt Showdown is very important, and when I can't hear anything else beside the rain, I find this a little bit annoying. Same with Tarkov back in the days with the old rain. It was so goddamn loud. It was deafening, and it was challenging to actually play the game. I know a few people of you like it, if the rain is loud for immersion and you can be a little bit more sneaky red. I get that. For me personally, I hope it will not be too loud and more of an ambience thing. Okay, I also have a few screenshots that we go through with fog. Visually, this looks absolutely stunning, but we're back to the point when you play, for example, Death, and the only option for the DMR is a scope, and you have no iron sights, and how the F are you supposed to play this? On the other hand, fog and rain can kinda nerf sniper gameplay, which can be very dominant in some games. Okay. It's just too early to tell, and I would say we need another playtest with all this fancy new stuff. I'm gonna have a clip now here running in the background where you can hear the where you can hear the environmental audio. Nice. First try. Awesome. Now, I wonder if this will change like different environmental sound during nighttime and daytime. I like that it shifts from inside a building and outside a building. Of course, this is work in progress. They can add more. Maybe you hear some birds during the day. Maybe you have more wind when it's nighttime to give the whole ambience a little bit more suspense. Also, I have no idea what you're seeing there. I think that's the new Reaver model that I have. Just very, very big. Okay, with that, I would say we jump to the next topic. Okay, so grenade systems are always very difficult to implement a game because they can either be too weak or way too strong. So you have to consider how you will apply damage to the player. So in Beautiful Light, whenever an explosion occurs, it calculates the surface of your body exposed to the explosion, limb by limb, which I find pretty nice. They claim that this grenade tag is pretty precise and allows to take cover behind strong elements, but won't work with smaller elements, which I kinda like. Because one thing that you absolutely want to avoid is that there is a chair in the room and the chair just blocks the whole explosion. So in Beautiful Light you will take damage proportional to your exposure and distance. And they claim this makes grenades more fair. In case you're wondering, yes, you can actually go prone on a grenade and use your body as cover to protect your teammates. Another thing that they want to battle is a grenade rollback. And I'm not talking about the grenade rolling back down a hill or a surface. I'm talking about tossing a grenade and the animation of you tossing the grenade not happening at the same time, and you get the wrong feedback from tossing a grenade. Now, I'm gonna do some quoting right now because I'm not a dev, and Beautiful Light claims they can solve this issue with their network predicted determinist grenade system. Sounds fancy for sure. Now what does it mean? Now outside extreme bad network condition, a grenade will never roll back and will always be properly and physically accurate. No random bounce and, at least on paper, it should always be accurate. The grenades are on client side predicted and the physics behind are deterministic, meaning that the server and the client will always have a one-to-one match. And in case you're wondering, these grenades fly kinda strange, you're not wrong, because they decided to go with a less realistic physics approach for grenades for better gameplay with them. Because, I'm gonna quote again, it's easier to predict the trajectory for the player. Alright, honestly, grenades, this is something I wanna play this first in a playtest, check it out myself, and then we can judge this properly. In theory, all of this sounds amazing. I like it that a single object cannot, well, give insane protection for you, and that you can actually jump on a grenade, go prone, and protect your teammate, like in Captain America. I would like to try that. Next up, I would say we check out a few animations for the upcoming guns. We're gonna start with an AK and a good old AK reload. We also have the Fel in here. Now this one doesn't have any sounds yet, but you're basically going through the whole animation set. Checking chambers, reloading, priming the gun, inspecting the gun, stuff like that. And honestly, they have various reload animations for this depending on what you're doing exactly, and I'm just gonna let you enjoy this real quick. What I also like is that you can reload a mag while still being in ADS. I think this is a neat feature, not a lot of games have that. It's probably slower to reload though, so it comes at a disadvantage. You can keep track of the target, but it takes a moment longer until you can shoot again. Next up we have the MK18, and as you can see they're already a little bit further than last time I showed this gun. And they also have here displayed a panic reload. Panic reload gets triggered by an anomaly being pretty close. I mean, you would probably shit your pants too when a Juggernaut is coming around the corner. Today I have even more work in progress guns, animations and sounds, and you know what? I'm gonna be quiet and let you enjoy this. Some guns, of course, have still quite a long way to go, but they're working on that. And they also shared with me some images about upcoming attachments, for example laser sights, flashlights. And they do look basically photorealistic. Keep in mind that in-game they will be rendered differently. We have some muzzle brakes, but they also showed a couple suppressors for pistols, for rifles. And while they do look stunning, I hope they will be able to balance them. I don't want suppressors where your gun becomes basically super quiet, because that's not how suppressors work. Because as far as I know, Beautiful Light will not have different ammo types. To get the most use out of a suppressor, you need subsonic ammunition. I'm also curious how loud the suppressors will be, because whenever you shoot non-subsonic ammunition with a suppressor, it sounds more like a whip strike, and your gun doesn't become insanely quiet. Now here's a screenshot of some guns that they have already implemented or are in the process of implementing them into the game. Their wish list is way longer, and I'm gonna show you that right now what they want to have in the game at one point. Keep in mind, as always, I know I sound like a broken record, work in progress, some guns might disappear from here, they might be changed a little bit, or some new guns get added. Okay, you've seen already a few things about the Juggernaut and they are still working on it. So right here they have a work in progress clip about the physics of that thing and yeah.
Derp, derpity derp 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 Derp, derp, derpity derp.
Okay, that was maybe a little bit mean right now. I just couldn't resist. Let's have a look at this a little bit more. Obviously, they just want to showcase what parts can be moved right here. And of course, there will be a lot of biting. Probably a lot of work went into this. I want to see the thing pounce on somebody. There's even some wiggling here. Aww, it's happy to see you. Alright, let me show you a little bit what they're working on right now when it comes to the map. This right here is a screenshot from the old map, and this one here as well. And you can see, for a first attempt, this looks really nice. But a lot of spaces are open, and it seems like that they want to change that, because when we jump to the newer screenshots right here, then you can see that they added way more foliage, way more trees in between the buildings. It seems to be a little bit tighter as well when it comes to the spacing in between the buildings. We might have a few more firefights from building to building, and I think they added also a few new art styles to the building, like the one with the broken roof. Now, the military complex will change quite a bit as well. This right here is what you played in the last playtest. And as you can see, you have right here the entry point to the bunker. And right here, this is the newer version. So you can already see that some buildings got completely added. I think that right there might even be a nuke silo or something like that, or like a missile silo. We have bigger buildings right there. I can see the helipad. I absolutely love that there are now more entry points, because if I remember this correct last time, I might be wrong though, all the walls were intact, so you could only go into the area by going through the gates, which normally kind of makes sense. But I love that they broke up some of the walls and you have multiple entry points now. I even would wish for a couple more, because otherwise you create a lot of bottlenecks on your map, and bottlenecks are normally not that great for your game. But hey, can't wait to play the new playtest and explore the village and the military section of the map. Okay, nothing too crazy here, but I want to give you a little bit of an insight how the user interface might look at the end. First of all, we're going to have a skill screen for the anomaly, so you can level up that thing, unlock new skills. It looks very gritty, and I think it fits the game. Also, it seems you will have different versions of the anomaly. You can see like level 3 and stuff like that at the bottom. Maybe they are just placeholders for different anomalies and you cannot have different versions of them. Although it would be cool if, for example, the Juggernaut, when he levels up, becomes bigger, more massive, maybe gets more thorns, more claws, stuff like that. And then you can see already while you're playing the operator, oh my god, this guy is a level 5 Juggernaut or level 10, and he's a way more serious threat. I don't know if that's a thing. You will also get skills, but I think that most of them will be passive effects, but holy moly, because you have like 4 or 7, like the first 3 rows, that's like 21 skills. It has to be a lot of passive stuff. Okay, then I also want to show you how it looks right now when you want to check a mag. And it is displayed on top of the mag when you pull it out and you check it. Now, I kind of like this, because right now you have to open up your inventory to check the mags and see how many bullets there are left. If this is still a thing, I'm actually not 100% sure. The placement of it, I would like it at the side of it, but then you have to be careful what colors do you pick, so you can actually still read the text when the background is bright. For example, you're looking at the sky and there are white clouds and you have white numbers, and it gets a little bit difficult. This still needs a little bit of work in my opinion, because you just slap it on there and it feels a little bit off. But maybe that's just me. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section. And then they were working on more enemies. Let's talk about that. Now, as always, what they create is beautifully disgusting. If you checked out my previous playtests and gameplay stuff, you saw me kill some black monsters, right? The small ones that were screaming. There were a lot of them running around. I think they're called Reavers, and this right here is now the custom-made variant, because the black one that you saw before is from the asset store, if I'm informed correctly, and now they replaced that with their own model, which I absolutely love. Looks disgusting though. Now, they come in different colors apparently, so you can see the grayish, skin tone ones. The one in the middle, or maybe he's just damaged by fire because he's like, he looks a little bit burnt, a little bit crispy there with the black and the red. We will see. So depending on how you damage them, their appearance might change. This is no info from the dev. This is just me theory crafting here now a little bit. They look great, but honestly, the darker it gets, the grittier the environment gets, the more terrifying they become with their glowing eyes. So when you go on a map nighttime and you go around the corner of a building and you look down the street and there's like, I don't know, so many eyes looking at you, you hear other players in the building next to you, but you also hear a Juggernaut climbing on the rooftop. Yeah, this is not gonna be a game that you play to have fun and relax. But let's see. And with that, that's the end for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to share it. Would be very kind of you. And I see you probably in a couple weeks or maybe months, whenever there's gonna be a new big update or enough to do a dev blog update. Now keep in mind, they said there's gonna be a playtest very soon. I don't know if this is still up to date. If I have any infos about that, I try to put it into comment. And with that, let's roll the outro. And at the end, as always, the usual subscriber begging and like begging. So if you feel like the video was informative for you and you enjoyed it, drop a like, drop a sub if you want to see more beautiful light content in the future. Big shout out to my patrons for being absolutely amazing, for supporting me over on Patreon. You guys, as always, I can't believe it how much support I got over the last couple of years. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. In a couple of weeks or maybe months, we're gonna have more info and then we're gonna have our 5th video about beautiful light. I see you in the next one. Until then, have a good day and bye bye.